My name is Sarah, and I'm going to talk about the short essay Us and Them by David Sedaris. Um, Current times, a lot of technology, social media, Netflix, stuff like that is actually used on a daily basis. I mean, it's definitely rated one thing that could be as a distraction. We're constantly talking about new gadgets coming out, new iPhones, iPads, laptops, MacBooks, TVs, even. Like the e-readers, like Nooks. You can even get a Nook app on your cell phone these days. This short essay out of the Norton Field Guide to Writing with Readings and Handbook that we use for class. The essay goes over how David's family moved from New York to North Carolina. They lived in a rented house at first, and then they had moved. Within a year, they had moved to another family home, about 3 blocks away or so. But the first house that they were living in, the rented one, it just talks about how basically David's mom didn't really build a full friendship with their neighbors. There's only about one person since they knew they were going to move frequently. But it kind of talks about a little different. It took place while David was actually around the 3rd grade age. And talks about, it compares one family from the second home, which is actually the Tomke family, compares that family to all of the other families around the neighborhood. The Tomke family kind of stuck out a little bit, not necessarily in a bad way, but David kind of spends the day spying on them. He compares the Tomke's actions with his own family's actions. Judges them to be kind of ignorant people because of the fact that they don't really use technology. They don't use technology. They don't see them using technology. Their beliefs are they don't believe in television, is what a rumor was going around the neighborhood of. But David kind of spied on this family for a while. He spied on them up until the Tomke family actually purchased a boat, and they spent most of their time at one of their family members' lake house or cabin. They even missed Halloween. So the next day, the day after Halloween, the Tomkes showed up to the house, and they were trick-or-treating or asking for candy. It was kind of, they say, awkward because trick-or-treating was the day before that. You can kind of see where they come from on that, because by that point in time, like when the Tomke said trick-or-treat, the mom kind of startled herself. It was like, whoa, thinking in her head, we don't really have candy because, they handed it all out the day before. However, she told the kids to go get the candy, and they were like, well, we handed out all the candy yesterday. Not realizing that the mom was talking about some of their candy to give the Tomke family. David, actually, his room was right by the door, and he went into his bedroom and was sorting through his candy, putting them in pile 1 and pile 2. Pile 1 was the candy that he liked a lot, and he was shoving chocolate in his mouth, and they were little bite-sized. Some of them were little bite-sized, so it made it a little easier. But also, his mom had walked in, and asked what he was doing. But I really liked the essay, per se, because of the fact that it talks about how a family is different. Just because a family is different doesn't mean they're really, they're that much different. I mean, they're still people. They just have different beliefs. Just because you have different beliefs or culture, they shouldn't be treated unfairly just because of that. So I think it was a really good read. It's definitely worth the time. So I definitely would say check it out.